Hello, 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 hello. This is Holistic
Hello.
Health 50, and I am here with Kim Temple, and we're going to be talking about 5 things that we do to stay whole for our 360 health, our holistic health at the tender age of over 50. So we're going to be talking about 5 things what do we do for mental health? What do we do for physical, nutrition, sexual health, and spiritual health? Sexual health is going to be at the end. So I want you to make sure you watch all the way until the end so you get the good juices. Okay. So my name is Brooke Brimm. I am a certified yoga instructor. I'm a metaphysical practitioner. I'm also a vegan chef. So I believe in all things holistic and all things health. I'm very much into making sure that we have an extended health span because we know now that it goes beyond lifespan. So lifespan, hospitals can keep you alive. They can keep you going with pills, machines, and all that kind of stuff. But then will you have your quality of life? So your quality of life is health span when you feel like your regular self, and then lifespan is that you're just still here. So what we're trying to extend is that health span. Okay. So right now I'm going to talk to Kim of Temple's Compassionate Care. She does senior care, and she's going to tell you more about herself. Welcome, Kim. Welcome, welcome. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks so much for taking the time to have me and your time. I appreciate that.
So tell me about you. What should we know about Kim?
Well, Kim is a very compassionate person. I'm so sorry. In my journey of identifying who I am and what I like and what makes me who I am, I learned the hard way through trial and error, which is fine. I know that I'm compassionate. I know that I love humanity. So I just had to find my place in that. And I feel like my place, which has always been my place, is with elderly and disabled adults. I'm able
Okay.
to give them the quality care that they like, need,
Mhm.
and want to live the best life possible. And they appreciate it. So that keeps me whole.
I love that. I love that. I love that. Okay. So you are over the age of 50, correct? Correct?
Yes, yes, yes.
So we're going to talk to you about what you do in your personal life, starting with mental health. What do you do for your mental health um, being over the age of 50?
I think I started really focusing on mental health maybe 10 years ago, and maybe more so after being fired from a job that I was very passionate about and thought I
Hmm.
had a lot to contribute to. So, what I do is just make sure I'm grounded um, and connected. And one might say, how do you do that? One is with stillness, one is with prayer and meditation for me, and one is
Hmm.
also with the foods that I put in my body.
Okay. So I love how you have kind of like integrated it all, right? So
Hmm.
when you talk about mental health, like a huge part of that is spiritual health and nutrition. So we're going to break it down on each level. So tell me how stillness affects your mental health.
Stillness affects my mental health by keeping me centered. So, life happens to all of us, and whether it be good, bad, or indifferent, when these things happen, instead of reacting on them, I find myself being still to understand what exactly is going on and then processing what's for me and what's not for me. And in my stillness, I'm able to do that.
I love that. I love that. I love that. So being able to gain some clarity and put away what you don't need and put in figure out what's yours to deal with and what somebody else's to deal with, or and that's not even
Exactly.
your business.
Right,
So next, let's
exactly.
go ahead. Let's go into nutrition. Let's talk about the kind of things that you do for your holistic health at the tender age of over 50 for nutrition. How do you handle nutrition?
Again, just to be repetitive, but it is my journey, and everything starts again with my inner being. So I'm more conscious. I think I started at 50 some time ago. Just making sure that I put the things in my body that serve me. At 50, I found out I had colon cancer. Even though I thought I was eating healthy, I decided to clean that up and just make sure that I'm conscious of what I put in my body serves my whole being. And
Mm-hmm.
I slipped up a little bit for about a year, maybe about 2 years ago, but I'm back on that journey. And
Uh-huh.
if it doesn't make sense to my body, I just don't put it inside of it. And when I say make sense, if it doesn't give me some type of nutrition, if it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
stimulate me, if it doesn't give me the energy that I believe that I need to move forward, I just choose to step away from it. But I do still have some habits that are challenging, but I think
Mm-hmm.
moderation is the key to everything for me.
I love that. So tell me, let's just pull out a day in the life in your nutrition. What would it look like?
I don't eat a lot. Okay, so I
Mm-hmm.
want to make that clear. I only eat basically when I'm hungry. I
Mm-hmm.
don't just eat for entertainment purposes. I'm very conscious of my weight, especially as I age. Um, so I might have breakfast, and that breakfast might be if I'm hungry. Like today, I had a veggie sub,
Mm-hmm.
a quarter of a veggie sub, and that consists of lettuce, tomatoes, onion, light mayo on wheat bread with a lot of hot peppers,
Mm-hmm.
some red, um, some pepper, some oregano, and that's it. And that's what I ate with a cup of ginger tea, and that was it. I was fine, and that was at
Don't
six
you
o'clock this
feel like
morning.
some days, like, I don't know, as I get older, I don't care so much about whether the food is breakfast food, quote unquote. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not really, like, if I feel like, oh, I had good leftovers yesterday, then I'm going to eat those leftovers in the morning. You know what I
I agree.
mean?
I
It's
agree.
like I don't have all of those kinds of guardrails that used to exist for food. I just kind of eat what my body feels like it needs. Um, so you say you don't eat a lot.
I might
So
eat once or twice a day.
okay, yeah. So see, that's the thing. We all just come up with, and I feel like I don't know with me. I'm 55. As I get older, I just don't even have the appetite for all that food like I used to. And I don't know. I don't know. It might be because I noticed that you said you don't eat for entertainment purposes, right? So definitely as um, a younger person, and sometimes maybe now too. Sometimes I have to catch myself. Emotional eating is like when you say
Hmm.
for entertainment purposes. I'm thinking emotional eating, right? And so I think I do a lot less of that as well because the more that I try to keep myself emotionally stable and understanding what's happening with my emotions and my thoughts and everything, I just don't have to shovel everything in my mouth. You know what I mean? And so I could
Yes.
take a beat, take a little bit more time to be more conscious of what I'm eating. So let's see. The next thing we're going to talk about is physical. What do you do for your physical to stay holistically healthy?
Uh, Back to the center of me. I think everything I do now at 60, the tender age of 60, um, if it doesn't make sense, I just don't do it. And I'm not, this is for me, right? And I won't say I've always been like this. This is just
Mm-hmm.
through trial and errors, through upsets. I decided what is good for me physically, mentally, and health
Mm-hmm.
wise. And
Right.
as far as staying fit, I do like to get up in the morning and stretch um, after I pray. And sometimes that praying process is just laying there and being thankful for little teeny things. In my career, my new career, or should I say a career that I've always done, but never had it as my primary job, that
Mm-hmm.
I deal with a lot of um, elderly people that can afford to take care of themselves properly. And it's just a constant reminder of the things you do to get where you need to be. What I'm doing now at 60 um, is to prepare myself for 80 and 90. So
Hmm.
physically,
Wow.
I know I need to stay mobile. I need to move. Sometimes I don't want to move. I know I shouldn't lay in the bed all day long, not for me, unless I'm just having a day that I'm staying up later. And I look at these people that are bedridden or that can't move, and I consciously know that I have to move. I'm not sick, so I don't need to lay in the bed. I need to get up
Mm-hmm.
and take advantage of my day. So what I do is get up early. I like to get up. early enough so I feel like I have all the day left. So I usually get up about 4:30 and I start
Mm,
my day by preparing breakfast from whomever I have to prepare it for and testing myself out to see if I'm hungry. And if I'm not, just making sure I drink some water, make sure I
mhm.
stretch, make sure I'm extending my legs and my arms as much as I can, and maybe
Yeah.
doing 50 to 75 squats.
Oh,
That's on a
yeah.
regular basis. Hmm.
That's a good routine. That's a really good routine. So, do you do any I guess the squats, would that be considered like strength training? Probably so, right?
Yes.
Because you're working your large muscle groups when you're doing those squats. And it's just, if you work those large muscle groups, then you burn calories and it's just overall for your good health. So, those working those big thigh muscles, the buttocks area, all of that is so, so good for us. So, last, before we get to the sexual, right, we're going to talk about the spiritual. What do you do for spiritual health?
Spiritual is still, again, you'll hear me saying that it's all one. Spiritual is my time with the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Outside, you'll find me barefooted a lot. And I've learned to appreciate, touching the earth and not having any interference. And
Mm-hmm.
going outside when it's a full moon, or going out real early before the sun even rises, and just having,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I have more private time with God. I meet Him before everyone else gets to Him, and in my little mind, right? That's how I do. So that would be my spiritual, just to connect with myself, my ancestors, and my God. So that's my spiritual. And on Sundays, I do, I'll choose a service to watch. And that's not every Sunday, but most Sundays,
Yeah.
I will say that.
Okay, I love that. I love that. I love that. So you do grounding with your bare feet, and that connects you to just the energy of the earth, and you connect with the ancestors. And I love what you said about I get to God before everybody else does. Really, you're getting to God before everybody else gets to you.
Hey, how about that? Yeah, true.
So I really love that. I love that. And the person that I had on last week talked a lot about things being everything being one and it all being like whole. And that's that's what we kind of talk about on this channel is like how
Hmm.
it's all whole, how it's all like this whole circle, like
It really
everything is
is.
in that circle.
It
It's
really
not
is.
just like one piece and it's compartmentalized. I think the older that we get, the more that we understand that spiritual
Hmm.
is connected to mental, is connected to physical and nutrition and sexual. Now we're going to get to the sexual. So tell me, what do you do? First, let me ask, are you partnered?
Yes.
You are partnered. So tell me what you do for
When
your
you say
sexual health.
partners, can you tell me what that is, or explain that? Because everybody has that different. I have a partner, a companion, someone that I can talk to and reach out to.
Yeah.
I'm single. I'm not married, so I just want to make sure I'm not confusing
Well,
anything.
yeah, no, no. I don't mean, I guess, that's why I use the word partnered as opposed to married.
Hmm.
Because I just feel like, or do you have someone you're in love with, or someone you're sharing things with, someone you're intimate with,
Right.
and sexual with? Because I think the person that we talked to last week, she was saying, "Hey, I'm not partnered, but I still, have sex with me. I still work on me,
Hmm.
sexually, and I'm still sensual." So I just wanted to get a sense of like if you have someone that you're intimate with, hugging, touching, sex, any of that, really.
Right.
So that's what I mean by
Yeah.
partner, not necessarily a formal partner of marriage and all of that. That's neither here nor there to me. I just wanted to know if you have someone that you're sharing sexual and sensual experiences with.
Yes.
Yes. And
Yes.
so what's that like as opposed to like your 20s?
In my 20s, I was married, so I was
Mm-hmm.
committed. And maybe even if I wasn't married, I think it's no longer a job. It's no longer something that I have to do or
Mm,
I feel like I have to do to keep someone. It has to serve me physically, mentally, and spiritually. And I have boundaries. And I think
mm,
I appreciate it different when I'm enjoying what is being done versus feeling like it has to be done to please someone else. Because I think when you
Mm,
meet, for me, when you meet someone, or when I meet someone that serves me mentally and physically, it doesn't feel like a task. Maybe it felt like a task when I was younger because I'm dating someone and I owe them this. Now it's just enjoying the company. And it doesn't always have to be intimate, it doesn't have to be physical. Sometimes it's just intimate as a form of having companionship. It doesn't have to be intercourse. Sex, as I get older, it comes in all different forms. It can be in a form of hugging, kissing, or just good conversation that's personal for me.
ooh, I love that. I love all of that. Ooh, I mean, that just sounds amazing. Yummy, yummy, yummy to me. I love that. That sounds great. And I also really love what you're saying about when you're younger. I guess because we just don't know, we don't have a frame of reference, whatever. It's all about like centering someone else, right? Because that's
Mm-hmm.
all what all love songs say. Let me cater to you, baby, baby, and all of that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we just really think that that's what being a partner is about. Even the Bible tells us we need to be a helpmeet, we need to, be a good wife, and all these kinds of things. Like, so there's a lot of messaging about what we need to be in relationships. And so we spend a lot of energy, and it does, like you say, become a task because, and a chore, because of how much expectation is around it to please someone else and to make sure that you're everything you need to be for that other person. That um it does become a chore and a task. But you're right, as you get older and you feel more comfortable and you really start doing that 360 mind, body, spirit of what makes you whole and healthy, then you start to realize, hey, I want this to feel good to me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I want this sexual experience, intimate closeness, companionship to feel really good to me. And I
And let
know,
me clear up something, Brooke. I don't want it to sound like it's me, me, me. No, when I believe with my partners that
mm-hmm,
when you give your mind, body, and soul, you are satisfying someone else. It doesn't feel like a burden. It doesn't mean that it's just about
right.
me. What I'm able to give them, even if it's just holding hands or hugging, we still feel the lightning going through our bodies, of maybe even fantasizing, because
Mm,
fantasizing about some of the things that you want is okay, especially when you're with a partner that's safe. You can fantasize,
mm.
and just holding hands will bring some of the same joys to you when you reach, or when you find that right person that you can have that electricity, whether it's kissing, holding hands, or and being intimate.
I love that. I love every part of what you said, because that's the next thing that I was going to say. So I love that you said it. That when you are taking care, because it's not about me, 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 me being selfish, right? But when you are taking care of your own needs and taking care of yourself
Mm-hmm.
holistically, knowing what you need and feeding yourself, and then you go and you connect with another person, that electricity is there, and that is very true on every
Mm-hmm.
level. Whether it's a touch, it's a conversation, it's a meeting of the minds, it's the fingers touching, it's the toes touching, anything, right? That
Mm-hmm.
electricity is there. Um, but you're not drained. You're not coming from, sometimes when you're younger and you're wanting to be everything for someone else, you're coming from a space of being drained
Mm-hmm.
and not feeling enough. And so then what's supposed to be a good thing for you does turn out to be a chore and work.
Mm-hmm.
So, but when you're filling your own cup and making sure you're getting everything you need and you come together with someone else, and you do feel that electricity and you feel you're already filled up. So they're just adding on like a little nice type topping and just adding to your life. That's just what I feel like. So
I agree.
yeah, I think the self is not a selfish. Selfish is making sure that you understand that you matter and you're
Mm-hmm.
responsible for you. And then when you bring that cup that's already filled up, you're good. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's just all good. So I think we actually have come to the end, but I do want to talk to people about where they can find you. You talked a
Mm-hmm.
little bit about your business, and I don't know, you talked about your business with doing senior care. Tell us what that looks like. Like, what does that look like in your everyday life?
My business and the model that I use is just basically companionship. It's
Hmm.
non-medical. It's just older people that are in their homes suffering silently. And when I say suffering silently, it doesn't always mean medical. It could just mean spiritual or just being lonely. And if you're
Mm,
an elder adult and you've been by yourself for 20 or 30 years, in some cases, not all cases, you know that you really don't want to be alone. And that doesn't mean a partner or a sex partner. It just means companionship. And Temple's compassionate care, that's what it is. It gives compassion to older adults that are need companionship. And
mm-hmm.
whatever that companionship looks like, because it can be different for everyone. Someone may need some reminders, or someone might need to know that it's time to put pull-ups on. You're just not able to maintain yourself the way you used to. And what happens to older adults after being with yourself for 90 something years, you believe that you are still where you were when you were 60 because you've been in this place for so long. And it's finding someone that's compassionate enough to understand that you're changing and know and have the expertise to bring that to you as a friend and not someone that's
Mm.
doing a job. So that's what we
I love
offer.
that. Love, love that whole concept. That's amazing. And we can find her at temples.care. She is in the DMV, which we call the District of Columbia, Maryland, Virginia area. If you're looking for someone who you have a loved one that needs compassionate care, or you need care yourself. Um, so, anything else you have going on the horizon that you want to talk to us about? Anything you're writing? Anything you're any place you're speaking? Anything you want to talk to us about?
Well, I'll sum it up by saying everything starts when you're ready for it to start. And I think I started at 50, realizing what I had to contribute. And I wrote some comic books on diversity and inclusion and unconscious biases. It's a series, so I'm still working on it. I'm also working on a book on how to understand your God power, and which is different
Mm,
for everyone. So it's just
mm-hmm,
understanding who you are, and it gives a lot about my walk in life, my ups, my downs. I've only been fired from one job, so of course I talk about that because when something happens once and you're 60 years old, it still can be it can be very mindful. And I would say it's not necessarily a bad thing. It helps you reset your mind focus and understanding that everything, good, bad, or indifferent, happens for a reason. It's up to you to make it the best part of your new life moving
well,
forward.
let me just tell the viewers a little story, because I only got fired from one job as well. And that job, I was working with this woman right here. And I was in this woman that's on the screen with me, right? I was in my 20s. And we worked together as cocktail waitresses. So we wore cute little uh what do you call those things? I can't remember what
Genie
little not
outfits.
yeah, we wore what do you call them?
Genie.
Booty
I
out.
dream of Genie. Genie. I
Yeah,
dream of
genie
Genie
outfits.
outfits.
But before that, when we wore ones that were like a little kind of a bathing suit with a little tuxedo
Oh,
one, that's
yeah,
the one I got
yeah.
fired from. So the reason why I got fired is because this friend here, I had one friend and I had this friend
Hmm.
on that's on the screen, and they didn't like each other. And so somehow I got caught in the middle of that, and I took a side, and I took the friend on the screen side. I didn't take the other girl's side. And so I didn't get into a fight, but it was a large, like a screaming, a big talking match, big screaming match. It was in the cafeteria at the job. And so I got fired that one time. That's the one time I got fired for her.
Thanks a lot. Sorry. I'm sure you learned a lot of lessons from that. So
Not really. Yeah, I guess so. I don't get into loud screaming matches anymore. It was
there
my
it is.
20s. But but it's just nice to see we've been friends for a long time.
Hmm.
Because that was in the 80s that happened. So we've been friends for a long time, and it's like not just really nice to see the evolution of finding ourselves, doing more and more, and both finding that we care about people, and that it's like it's so important to just know what you're passionate about and be able to do that. So that's where we are in she's 60, I'm almost 60, and this is where we are in life. So it's a good thing, and I hope
Yeah.
that you guys
Yes.
enjoyed this conversation. And if you like it here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Let other people know that we're here. And we're mostly on YouTube. I do beach yoga here, nutrition tips, senior health tips, and also spirituality. So we're trying to address the 360 wholeness of being over 50. And we'll see you the next time. Thank you.
Okay. Bye bye. Thank you.